Hey, we've come to a place called Hatzor, Hatzor, Hatzor. It's an incredible sight when you come up here and see it. In fact, it's a World Heritage Site. What I've just walked through is commonly referred to as a Solomon-era gate. It's a 6-chambered gate. And if you look on both sides, there'll be 3 chambers. And so there's 3 chambers here, and there's 3 chambers on the other side. Now, what happened in these chambers, if you were ever at war, and this city was at war a lot, you'd pack this place with ammunition and soldiers. And they would fight to defend the entrance point to the city. But if you weren't at war, and that's most of the time, you'd put food in here, and the hungry people from the area could come during a time of famine. Also, this is where the city leaders would gather. Like, you remember Boaz wanted to marry Ruth? He went to the city gate of Bethlehem. This is the city gate. So I would think of this more like City Hall, the county courthouse in my community. It's a place where important people gathered to make official decisions. But there's more to Hatzor than just the gate. In fact, there's a find in here that has become so amazing. People are coming all over to see it, and that's why I brought you here today. The real deal about Hatzor is its location. We're in the Hula Valley, and this was along the major thoroughfare. If you were going from Africa, think Egypt, into Asia, selling your merchandise, or if you were coming the other direction, Hatzor guarded this valley. Whoever owned this valley could let their friends through and stop their enemies. You could tax people for coming through. And so Solomon wanted the city. You've got the Assyrians wanted and took this city. The Babylonians would come along. The Greeks wanted it. The Romans had it. You know, everybody had to have this hill. It protects the valley. But there's one other leader who took this city, and his name is Joshua. And that story is where I think it makes a big difference to us as readers of the Bible about what happened here. Check this out. I mean, we're under like this brand new awning, this big metal thing, because what's here is so important. And what is here, this is what the archaeologists tell us, is the palace of the king of Hatzor. Palace of the king of Hatzor. Now, when I think of king, maybe you're the same way, I think of a king of a country, somebody extremely powerful over like millions of people. In the Bible, especially in ancient times, like in the times of Joshua, a king was more like a mayor of a particular community, only more important, a chieftain. I mean, you had to do business with the king of this community if you were going to do business in this area. And so this guy was very, very important, very powerful. Now, in the book of Joshua, you remember Joshua was taking the promised land. God had said, you take it now. You cross the Jordan River. He destroyed Jericho. In fact, he burned Jericho, and then they destroyed another community called Ai. They burned Ai, and all of the other communities they did not burn, except for one. They burned this one. Now, that's in Joshua chapter 11, if you want to check it out. It says Joshua burned the Hatzor, because the king of Hatzor organized such a massive force against them, and they burned the city. So check this out. This is why this awning is here. This is why this is such an important room. This room has been determined to be the palace of the king of Hatzor. It was very, very nice. And all along the edge of this wall, you get this black line, and then there are even some of these larger stones out in front that have been put here so we would see and understand what happened. These stones are charred and cracked because they've been burned. Because they've been burned. These stones date back to the time of Joshua. I mean, that to me is really the heart of the lesson of why I even bothered to come to Hatzor, why I like to bring people here. Because, you know, when it says something simple, here's Joshua chapter 11. You get one little sentence. It says, Joshua burned the city of Hatzor. You come here, archaeologists dig down, they find different layers of different civilizations. They get to the right civilization. The Bible said the city was burned, and guess what? They find stones that have been burned in a great fire. And I find that to be the most wonderful thing about the Bible. It gives us geographic locations. It gives us details that archaeologists and other scientists can come in and actually test the authenticity of the Bible. Maybe you've always said, well, I just believe the Bible, and I'm good with that. But you know, a lot of people aren't good with that. A lot of people say the Bible is fantasy, or it's just legend, or it's just religious nonsense. You can ignore the message in the Bible. I want to tell you something. Archaeologists do not ignore the message of the Bible. It says Hatzor was burned, they find stones, they're not surprised. That's one of the ways they even identified the city. So if you can trust the places of the Bible to be true, you can also trust the message of the Bible to be true. This is why I love coming to the Land of the Bible. I'm so glad you're joining us on this virtual tour. We're going to the next stop. I hope you're enjoying your opportunity to experience Israel wherever you are right now.